Please.
Good morning, sir. This is Shrihita Reddy. We are really honored to have you here today, sir.
My pleasure.
My question is generally, any decisions taken by the ruling party government, the people associated with that, they say it's going to helpful, it will be very helpful to the people. Whereas the opposition says it's going to collapse the state. Sometimes media also play a victim role here. So, as a common citizen, how can we know that which is true or which is not true?
Srigita, I'm glad you asked this question. It's one of the problems of democracy and the quest for, not only in India, this is universal. Go to America, same debate. Go to Britain, same debate. Parties now have become warring groups. There's no quest for truth or fairness. You say something, you're evil, you're bad. I say something, and when I come to power, I may say the same thing and do the same thing. Then everything is okay. It's a tragedy of polarization in politics. The quest for power at the cost of purpose. More so in countries like India, but other countries not. America right now is in a mess. Actually, I sometimes believe India is better than America in this respect. Despite all our noise and mess, there is some common sense that dominates in this country. But polarization in some of the countries is so great, they are just not able to come together for a collective good. Therefore, what do we do? I don't know if some of you followed what I do. I never ever fall for who has done it. I don't care. You see what is done. Examine it dispassionately and fairly. If it is correct, even if 1 million people oppose it, to tell the people, have the courage to tell the people, for the following reasons, in our collective interest, this is the right approach. And if it is wrong, no matter if millions support it, for the following reasons, in this manner, this is wrong and this is the better way out. Also show an alternative. But you must have credibility. You must have truth in your heart. If because I belong to another community and you are a Reddy and therefore Srihita said, therefore I must oppose, if that is what motivates me, or if some other fellow because he is a Kamma, therefore I must oppose him. Because Telangana guy, therefore I must. If that's what motivates us, all our cleverness is irrelevant. After some time we lose credibility. People are too polite to say that to our face. But your word has no value, no power. Examine them systematically. Evidence, logic, best practices, past experience of ours and those around. In our country, partly because of political polarization, partly because of stupidity in analyzing issues, because for decades, for generations, certain shibboleths as we call, some standard slogans, public sector, private sector. Socialism, without even knowing what the word means, or something else. Standard. Vizag steel plant. हमारे हक है. नहीं तो हम मर जाएंगे. So this kind of stupidity without looking at what actually benefits us. What are we getting out of it? Rational, objective understanding. At least some people must have that ability, and that's what the purpose of education is. And then use it system. Don't abuse people. I never abuse or shout. No matter how stupid the other person is, I calmly, sometimes they use abusive language. That's what India is, or any society is. I just ignore. If somebody heaps abuse without any sense, I ignore. Even as a worst fellow, if he is making some point, even if he is wrong, I engage. If you are willing to engage, I engage. If you will listen or not, it's your choice. But I will not be engaged in abusive rhetoric. I don't care. Whatever you say, my lips are sealed. I just ignore it. So unless we have that capacity to promote rational public discourse on every issue, and that means you must also have the capacity to understand first, learn, that humility, to study. Why am I studying 10 hours a day at this age? Because nobody has all the knowledge. There are 1,000 minds, 1 million minds working on those issues. They have maybe better analysis. But again, just because they wrote so or said so, doesn't mean that's gospel truth. Does it make sense? My experience, my knowledge, and what other people say, their credibility, is it holding true? If not, which element of it is holding? So that's a constant inquiry. So My appeal is vote for whomever you like. But don't let that decide on what is right, what is wrong. Nobody is right all the time. Go by the issues and issues alone. People are always confused. Am I supporting Narendra Modi? Am I opposing Narendra Modi? Is he in favor of KCR? Is he opposed to KCR? Is he for Jagan? Is he opposed to Jagan? I keep telling them, I am none of these. I am for people of India. I don't care whether Modi or Jagan or KCR or somebody else. If KCR does the right thing, I support to that limited extent. If he does the wrong thing, I say what is wrong and what is propose the alternative. So even they are confused. Now they don't even abuse me or anything because there's no point. Because when I say something to support what they have done, they use me for their credibility. Therefore, they lose their capacity to attack me when I show them what is wrong. So rise above this pettiness. Don't bother about who said it. Don't bother about shibboleths and remember, dead habit. Old silly notions, unverified notions. Logic, evidence, your own experience and others' experience. Make an assessment and say yes or no to that. It's hard. It's the hardest thing because Thomas Edison, one of the great innovators, one of the great engineers of all time, whether he was formally called an engineer or not, he said once, there is no expedient to which a man will not resort to avoid the labor of thinking. Thinking is so hard, so painful, so difficult. It's cheap, it's free. But it's so difficult that human beings will go to any extent to avoid the labor of thinking. But think. Go through that hard labor. Okay?